Welcome back. I'm delighted to introduce our two AEDs. Many of you, most of you, I would hope, know the two of them. Brad and Melissa, welcome.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good. Thanks for having us.
Well, we're delighted. What would you like to talk about? You'd like to give us an update, I think, on construction?
Gosh, we have some construction going on or planned?
Gosh, we've been hearing about that
No, I don't think
now.
so.
Right. Well, if you want to talk about Village Square.
Yeah, so I have a couple of things. One is around Village Square. So Village Square continues to make great progress with the refresh that's occurring there. We are wrapping up on the terrace level in about the next week or two. So that'll be.
Remind us, it's the elevator and what else down there?
Well, not the elevator. The elevator was already put in and christened
that's
and
done.
is in use.
Yes.
So on the terrace level, what we're actually doing is we're refreshing the Acatink room.
Yes.
And the lobby and the kind of corridor outside of the theater. So that's all being refreshed, new carpet, new paint. And the restrooms down on the terrace level
Yes.
have all
Are
been.
those still closed?
They're closed until the middle of the month. They're going to reopen right before the play starts, so
Oh,
you'll
they
have
are.
access to them.
Oh, I think that's going to be a relief.
So that's
to
going to be
them.
fantastic,
Right.
and that's going to be supporting the play that we have going on. We also have the two offices that were built out down on the terrace level for our activities and social work team members. So they'll be relocating down to that level. So they have brand new offices down there, and it's going to be fantastic that they're side by side to support each other. So that's another phase of the terrace level. Yes, and then there's some work that's going to continue to happen in the employee lounge, and I'm going to say behind the scenes there on that level. But for the most part, everything is completed, and they'll be moving upstairs to the lobby level next. And we'll be moving upstairs to the lobby level, I'm going to say the end of May, beginning of June. And at that point in time is when we'll relocate Woodland Skies temporarily
Yes.
to the Acatink room so that we can accommodate our residents and their dining experience in the Acatink room while we refresh Woodland Skies. And Woodland Skies is going to get new tables, new chairs. They're going to get new carpet, a new bar, and kind of refresh the walls and paint all of that. And then the whole entire lobby is being refreshed with new carpet, new paint, new I'm going to say pictures, etc.
Now, let me interrupt you just
Yes,
for a minute. The first segment of Village of Motion today was dining services.
Yes.
And they talked about the fact that people would be sitting, waiting up in the lobby area.
Correct.
To be seated in the Acatink room.
Correct.
Now, how are they going to do that when painting and all these?
Because there will be a lot of the work that happens at night. And there'll still be furniture in there for people to be accommodated
there will
or
be
sitting.
furniture.
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to be a transition.
People sitting
An
on
empty
ladders.
shell, right.
No. It's going to be a
Sitting on ladders.
transition. It's going to be a transition, and so they'll have the ability to have different seating options, if
Okay.
you will, in the lobby. Still, we can't take all
So
of
they
that
won't
away.
get splattered with paint, and they don't
No,
have to
no,
sit
no,
on
no, no.
ladders.
No.
All right,
We could
okay.
put some people to work that, after
Well, you
dinner,
could.
yeah.
We can make
Right.
things move a little bit more swiftly.
Or
But-
not.
but-
I mean,
Or not, right, yeah.
But again, we are continuing to make progress in that area. We look for Woodland Skies to be completed in about 4 weeks and then opened back up. So that'll be right around July. So if we do the beginning of June to July, about a 4-week period of time, and it'll be reopened.
be done by the 4th of July.
We hope
one
so.
would hope.
We would
Sure.
hope. And the restrooms on that level are also being refreshed. So again, I would say a majority of that work should be done by August, meaning the restrooms, the lobby, the painting, and all of that should be done by August.
My,
So
that's a
they are
lot of
really
work, isn't it?
moving along very swiftly in that area. And again, our ultimate goal is to be to coordinate things around residents and our resident activities, and to be less invasive or as least invasive as possible, so that we could continue, all the different things that we do in that arena, both the lobby and the terrace level. But exciting work.
I am curious why you're putting social work and the community resources people downstairs. I think their visibility on the main floor is kind of important to a lot of folks.
Well, part of the rationale behind that is some of the repositioning work to make office spaces for finance and administration, who will ultimately be moving over into that building. And so as we're redoing Town Center, and Brad will talk a lot about that, we're looking to make sure that we can accommodate additional spaces for the people that are going to be moving out of Town Center, such as administration and finance. So that's part of the rationale, and then having them together there, at least on that level, that gets a lot of visibility, if you will, and lots of different people travel in that area as well. So we wanted to keep them in that building, which is where they needed to be, but we also needed to accommodate the enabling projects of other moves that are
Well,
happening.
I think that's kind of too bad, just from the standpoint of accessibility.
Yeah, it's not the same as having them right off that main drag.
It is not, and that really has, I think, helped in a lot of ways.
Yeah, the good thing is, both Sue and Janelle, they're active in the community and out and about, and so, they'll continue to do that, of course.
No, they're not going to be hidden down there.
Right.
Correct.
In terms of being in the community.
But it's not quite as well trafficked as where they currently are.
Oh, no,
Yeah, I
it
get
really
that.
is not.
So
it is
we'll
not.
just have to be a little more purposeful. Yeah. But it's great space down there, and when there are events, and there are a number of things that happen in the Akatink room and in the theater, and so they'll get some action down there.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
I'm
hope
certain
so.
they will, but they don't stay in their offices either. So they're
that's
they're
true.
in lots of different areas, and people know how to get in touch with them, and they're very visible for sure.
Yeah, they are. All right, thanks.
So it sounds like Jason was here and talked a
Yes,
little bit about
Jason was here.
dining. I'm sure he mentioned that not only do we have things happening in Village Square with a change in dining venue for just a few weeks really,
Right.
but over in Town Center, of course, we'll have the cafe down for
Yes.
a number of months.
Yes.
And he, I'm sure, talked about the fact that the fireside is then just going to have lunch and dinner served each day out of the fireside, since we won't have the cafe.
Yes. We
Carry out.
talked about carry out
Good.
in the private dining room.
Perfect. Yeah.
Clearly, a lot of thought has gone into all that. I mean, that's a complicated series of arrangements.
Lots of complexities with all the moving parts,
I
in
can
Town
believe
Center.
it.
So I'll really try to boil it down to, on the 14th, we will start to put up temporary walls on the first level, from basically the salon all the way down to the end of the hall where the employee lounge is. So the salon, EA, the employee lounge, that little dining office will all be partitioned off, and demolition and work will start next week. And then
It starts next week.
Yeah.
That quickly.
And then upstairs, we'll block off the Potomac Potomac Cafe, the offices for Stephanie, Dwayne, the computer room. We're going to put a couple computers into the library as a temporary
Where are you finding
stopgap.
space in the library? That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's a challenge.
We'll have to take one of those chairs out, and then just put a small table with a couple all-in-one computers on there. And so Will and Harry are going to.
Okay, so that's where the computers will be.
So we'll have two computers there, and then we'll store the other ones. And so when the treasure chest moves over to Connor Terrace, then the computer room will move where the treasure chest is.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
So
okay,
I
good.
don't want to get too far into the weeds. So
Right.
you'll basically, book construction, our general contractor. They have a trailer now over in the B lot. They're going to start to mobilize next week. Looks like on Tuesday they'll start to put temporary walls up, do some demolition, and discard those things into dumpsters where the current freezer is for the kitchen renovation that was happening. So the kitchen's now done. All meals will come out of the fireside. Potomac Cafe gets closed.
Right.
And then a number of spaces from the bathrooms down to the craft room, and then below from the salon to the employee lounge will all be under construction for a number of months.
Oh my goodness sakes.
I need a drink after that.
Yeah, I can certainly understand that.
Yeah.
Oh, that is truly amazing. Something like the salon, what's going to happen
So
there?
we're fortunate that we have, two salons,
yes.
in Village Square and Hunters Crossing, and actually over in Garden Ridge, we have salons
Yes,
run
correct.
through PS Salon as well. So they're gearing up for that. I know that, their hairdressers or, their workers will also move with their clients over to the other areas. So SEMA's working that out.
The salons are pretty busy as
It is. Yeah. So, yep. So we'll navigate through that, but it's,
Now, tell me what is the status of the new grill and bar for Town Center?
yeah. So as part of the second part of Phase 1, they'll start to work on the fitness center, the
Yes.
aquatic center, and then that third dining venue in Town Center.
All right, so that's the end of Phase 1.
So that, it's really Phase 1B, if you will.
All right, and when does that start?
So we're looking at, end of the summer before we start to do anything with the fitness center, the aquatic center, and that third dining venue. That's kind of the second step of Phase 1.
Okay.
All these enabling projects, we need to be able to move all the fitness center equipment over to Forest View, where they're going to have, temporary satellite fitness space. So we can't do anything in that area until we're able to move that equipment and have an active place for residents to go. So I'm kind of looking at that as step 2. I just want to make sure that, the Potomac Cafe closing is going to be a big deal.
Yes, it is.
And then, finalizing, the Village Square renovations is going to be a big deal. So we'll just keep communicating the best that we can. Anyone can, come and talk to myself.
Right.
Anytime. I can show you on the boards what's happening. I look to have a timeline of projects as we start them that I can communicate out. And so it's going to require partnership and a little patience.
A lot of patience,
But
I suspect.
but at the end of the project, it's going to be beautiful.
Well, this is all very interesting and very helpful.
Yes.
Both of you.
Yeah.
I see our time is up.
Okay.
Wow.
That was quick.
I know. It
I would
always
just add
is.
one other quick thing. On the heels of Town Center, we're also doing additional work in Garden Ridge. So now that Dogwood Commons is up, we are also stepping back into Garden Ridge and refreshing Garden Ridge and the clubhouse area and resident apartments there as well. So I'll bring more information at an additional show, as well as talk about it at Coffee with Execs, but that's the next kind of major project that's going to be getting underway. I'm going to say probably towards the end of May, beginning of June, and I'll be bringing you those updates on
coming
that
up.
project as well.